Hey, I'm Jerry Springer.
I'm Gene Galvin.
And we're the Elevator Comics. We perform in some of the best elevators in the country, telling eye-watering jokes in as few as 2 floors. But we once entertained a car full of conventioneers stuck on the 14th floor for 40 minutes.
Call your favorite hotel and tell them that you want the Elevator Comics on your next ride. We're the hottest new act in the laughing world.
I seen Springer and Galvin in a hotel elevator in Jackson, Mississippi, and they was hilarious. Best 2-floor ride of my life.
Hey, Jerry, what were you saying to that guy in the lobby?
He was telling me he just bought the best hearing aid money can buy. I said, yeah, what kind is it? He said 4 o'clock.
The Elevator Comics were fast, topical, and usually family-friendly. But when the sun goes down, so do we. Our sizzling adult set starts nightly at 9.
The Elevator Comics. You'll never take the stairs again.
Guy says to me the other day on one of the rides, ballroom, please. I said, sorry, I didn't know I was crowding you. Okay, 6th floor, folks. Enjoy your stay and call the front desk if you need extra towels. Watch your step getting off. We've got to pay the insurance bill.
Elevator Comics are brought to you by Up and Down Productions.
Welcome to Tales, Tunes, and Tomfoolery starring Jerry Springer, along with Gene Galvin and me. I'm Megan Hills. We're recorded live in front of a brilliant studio audience at the Folk School Coffee Parlor in Ludlow, Kentucky.
My daddy
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Gerald Norman Springer.
Oh, thank you. You know, you have to let me know because we're going to get calls now from lots of hotels around the country.
Oh, they're pouring in. What do you mean we're going to get calls?
Oh, they're pouring in?
Every Super 6
I'd like
or
to-
Super
This is the
8.
one piece of my business plan that's actually working, Megan.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Well,
I
we
live
don't
in a
need
blind
business
squirrel,
yet.
Gene. I don't know what to
Where's
tell
the
you.
money? What are we charging them to
Hasn't really thought that through
let's
yet.
say a weekend on an elevator? What should we?
I'm going all Donald Trump on them. I'm negotiating the hell out of it. Hey, by the way.
Oh, if we could get in his hotel.
Wouldn't that be something? Yeah.
What a great idea.
Now there's a business
Yeah.
idea.
There's a business
Sorry,
idea.
Gene.
There's
You just
an
got
idea.
trumped.
We can't even get in the building.
Right. We'll be lucky to get in some cheap 6 or sleep cheap hotel or something.
The problem, I looked at the Motel 6s, but they're only 2 floors. We'd have
Jerry, we have
we'd
to
have
work
to have very
fast.
short jokes.
We work fast. Hey, by the way, we're going to hit back by popular demand, Krystal Peterson.
Yeah.
In the Queen City
They
Band.
They are phenomenal.
She was on our last podcast.
It was nice for them to stay in town for a week, so come
They
back
stayed
and
in
do
town.
it.
But
Yeah.
they are fantastic, and we've brought them back for another episode. And also, Jerry's going to talk about Steve Bannon, and one of the counselors to the president, and a speech he gave to CPAC, which is a conservative organization. And I did want to ask you something, Jerry, about your TV show, because and Megan's going to join me on this. We have a perception. We know, I'm pretty sure it's reality. He's a big TV star, Megan.
Is he?
Oh,
He's huge.
huge.
Do they know him in Cuba?
Yeah, they do. No, actually, in Cuba.
Oh,
they
well,
knew
that
who
was
the hell he
ridiculous.
They did not know who he was. in
No,
Cuba.
not even a little bit.
God, that was the longest week of
The
my
Castro
life.
brothers made damn sure no Cuban would ever know who he is.
Yeah.
So, Megan, picture this. Jerry does, what do you do, 3 shows on Monday and 2 shows on Tuesday?
Yeah, before I fly
And so,
here, yeah.
look, you do a show and you take a break. You go back to your office.
Yes.
Here's what we're picturing. You have a big paneled office. You go in there and I know you probably would like to kick back a little bit, but people are on you. Their phones ringing, people coming in and out. Everybody's
gotta
yelling,
be
Jerry,
crazy.
can I get 10 minutes of
He's
your
got the
time?
makeup bib on and the stuff
Yeah, I got
just
that.
happening.
Yeah, like one of those dog collars, you know, when they hurt their neck or something.
Don't touch, don't touch.
Yeah. So, and Jenna's probably out there, probably has a phone bank with like
Making
3 or 4,
deals.
boom, boom, pushing buttons. Hold on, hold for Mr. Springer.
Well, I mean, like today, actually, between the first and second show, I picked up the phone immediately. I said, Jenna, we're out of prune juice.
Oh, my God.
I cannot stand this
No,
job
the
anymore.
refrigerator in my office. She's supposed to keep it stocked.
I apologize, Megan. Hey, What is a reality at your
what is the show?
in between shows? Is it a busy place? Is it bustling?
And how many do you usually do? 2 back to back? Is that how you film, or 3?
We do 3 on Mondays.
Oh, you
2
do
and
3.
Tuesdays.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
3
right.
on Mondays.
So that's
and-
got to be pretty hectic.
Actually, it is, but not for me.
No.
I mean, no, I mean, the producers there, everyone's working really hard.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you told me once that Jena says you want the door closed when you go in.
Oh.
No. I want some contact with people. I mean,
Yeah.
nobody really does come
I
in
do
there.
take, on Mondays, when we do 3 shows,
Yeah.
this is true, I do take a nap between the second and third show.
On-
I'm 73 years old. I get tired in the afternoon. And I got people throwing chairs, throwing cake. You don't think that tires
He's
you
Jerry
out?
Springer for crying out loud.
Ducking left and right. It's not easy. Actually, most of the work I have to do is just talking with general managers, and it's the business part of stations that carry our show.
Yeah.
So it's that. It has nothing to do with what the show's about, because I told you I'm not allowed to know what the show's about.
That's for the best.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So,
good. If
Guy-
I knew what it was about, I wouldn't go in. The show's stupid. Why would
I'm
I
not
want
doing this.
Why would I want to be there, for gosh sakes? Good Lord.
Guy goes to work for FedEx and he goes home and he's tired.
Am I going to
He's
hit
tired. He
Yeah.
lies down on the couch and
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
he
We
has
have.
a beer or
I have a
something.
nice couch. Yeah.
Are you tired when you go home? Are you exhausted? Is your back hurt?
Where is this going?
That private jet has some
Straight up
pretty
question. I mean,
unstable
Oh,
seats, I'm
You
pretty
work
sure.
hard? You make more than a guy that works at FedEx, lifting boxes up and delivering things.
Yeah, I get more laughs. I should. No, yeah.
Where is this going?
Yeah, where is it going?
He has no idea.
Yeah, go on, I'm tired. Hey,
Yeah,
man,
no, I work. No, I
You
don't.
know, of course you do. Okay, we keep doing what you do because that's how we
That's
do
how-
this.
that's your
Yeah,
business
how-
plan.
Yeah, that's the business plan.
You should come and see a show. I keep telling you
I have
that.
never been to a show.
Megan, I want you to come and see a
I
show
would
as
love to
well.
come see a show, Jerry.
It's
Thank
an
you.
unbelievable
We just don't have any
experience.
way of getting
It's
there.
weird
That's
because
been the
I don't
problem.
have any way to get
Yeah, we don't
to
have any way of
Connecticut.
Well, today we had a guy on the show, really, and they'd been fighting, and she said, Jerry, I'm thirsty. You know, so we gave her a plastic glass of water. She takes the water and throws it, and I get sopped. My suit, well,
She
not
threw
at
it at
me.
someone else
Yeah,
and
and it hit
and some of
me,
it hit you?
and my suit is dry clean only.
You got played.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think you got problems?
I did until right now. You're right. I have not walked a mile in your shoes.
Hey,
I don't think I've ever walked a mile either.
You have either.
Yeah, I get driven.
Get chauffeured in my shoes.
Excuse me?
hey,
such a turd.
let's talk about the elephant in the middle of the room.
He's right here and he can hear you.
Yeah. After the last election, the presidential election,
Yeah.
now everybody's anticipating the 2-year elections, and in the state of Ohio, there are not only elections for all the congressional seats and I guess one Senate seat, Sherrod Brown's Senate seat, but also all the administrative seats like governor, auditor, et cetera. And the fact is, you are being talked about. I know this because I'm here all the time. You are being talked about as a candidate for governor. And you didn't start it. You did not start it. You said nothing to anybody. 'Cause
No,
you're
I just
not-
wrote the column.
You're right.
But I,
If anyone would like to.
and I
if
said,
anyone's
you guys
interested."
started and then read this.
Yeah.
No, I know.
But
what
you
you're
are
saying.
being talked about. I mean, I've read articles, I've heard about phone calls flying around the state from some pretty high up people, by the way, who know this stuff. And there are people, and let me just be direct about this. The election of Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is essentially a reality TV star. I saw it put one way today. I thought it was wonderful. He's a television performer masquerading as an expert manager. That probably is true.
Yeah.
He's a TV guy. He's not,
Yeah,
and he knows nothing about politics. He had no preparation for this. But you were mayor of Cincinnati. You once ran back in the 80s for governor in the Democratic primary. You study this stuff constantly. You read books constantly. You talk about it on this podcast. You are being talked about as a potential governor candidate. What are your thoughts?
Is this in the program?
Wow, Gene.
No, I mean,
No.
you
No,
you have thought in your life about this. And,
yeah, well, if I could do it Wednesdays and Thursdays, because I do 3 shows on Monday, 2 on Tuesday night here for the podcast, be governor Wednesday afternoon and Thursday.
you got to have some time off on the
Jerry.
weekend.
Yes, I want to be able to, right.
But it's
yeah.
it like to be talked about almost every election, every 2 years as
Well,
candidate for high office?
I understand why it happens, stepping outside myself to say, well, after, because my show has obviously been controversial for years. And, but with Trump getting elected, then all of a sudden, there are political people around this state that are saying, hey, wait a second. Jerry, I could be the Trump without the racism, without the bigotry, et cetera. I mean, that's honestly what they're thinking. I could be the crazy guy on the other side. Except hopefully I can put a sentence together.
And you
but
could connect with some of those.
Yeah, but
people
I'm not. I'm not. First of all, the job, I believe, demands younger people. And, I am 73, and I think I'm still healthy or whatever, but the energy required for it. And there are a lot of young people coming up, and this is their chance to, my day, I think, has passed, to be honest with you, on that kind of a job. So, and the other things I want to do in life. So, do I say never, ever, ever would I ever consider it? But right now, it's...
You can't picture it.
Yeah, I don't picture it happening. And, but yeah, but this, honestly, as you know, every single election, particularly in southern Ohio, whether it's a mayoral election, a congressional election, every year reporters or some political people will say, hey, because you're always looking for candidates, and obviously I'm known, and people around here also know that I'm political, that I've had political jobs. So of course you get part of the conversation, but that's a lot different than I'm mobilizing to run for office, and I don't. At this point, it gets to be more ego than anything else. It's not like, the state can't get along unless I'm its governor. I mean, that's absurd.
Well, the political operatives want to win, and I do believe they look at you, some of them, currently, in fact.
Could we do this podcast from Columbus?
We probably could.
But I have an obligation here to the coffee shop.
You got coffee parlor.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you one other thing, because I've always said that probably through the political years, I've been the entourage of one. Jerry has to have somebody, doesn't have to, but it's probably wise to have somebody with him that he can say, talk to that guy over there. And I'm that guy. So I'm the witness. And I've seen, and I saw it again last summer in Philadelphia at the Democratic Convention. I saw Jerry Springer move about, drawing more crowds than anybody, whether it's a political star or a media star. And I saw him perform again on his feet, speaking to congressional delegations from states from around the country. And he delivers. So it's not, it's
Okay, I'll run.
now.
Well, that took a lot, Gene.
So that's to say,
Damn, my arm.
that's to say that I'm never surprised when I see this game get on, because the game is on, and like you say, see where it goes. I hear you. It's not going anywhere, but you never know what the future holds. So I appreciate it. I just thought it might be worth just touching on that, since it's being reported some other places, by the way.
Sure.
We ought to talk about it on our own podcast. It's your podcast.
I'm sure the people at NBC love to hear this.
No. Oh, and by the way, we're not playing any games here. You
I
have no
know.
intention of doing anything other than what you're doing.
That's
so
fine.
we get that. Hey, Steve Bannon, speaking of politics, Steve Bannon, and let's set the stage as to who he is. He used to run Breitbart News. Some say he's a white supremacist.
Yep.
He got involved with Trump pretty early on, and you did an incredible political comment last week on a podcast, 2 weeks ago actually, where you said, and it was amazing because I loved it. You said that Trump could be Bannon's empty vessel. That he's his empty vessel. That Bannon got Trump. So this isn't Bush's brain, Karl Rove, the other way. This is like Bannon's the brain, Trump's the empty vessel, and
he wasn't, actually, he wasn't Bannon's first pick.
correct.
Just to pick
Yeah.
up, not to cut you off, but
Yeah.
to pick up from exactly what you were saying, just to recap quickly what the podcast was 2 weeks ago, what my rant was 2 weeks ago, that all of what we're seeing now is Steve Bannon. And Steve Bannon should be taken seriously. He is, unlike Trump, he is a very, very, very bright person. He has a worldview that I find offensive and other people might find offensive, but he's very bright and should not be dismissed. And his worldview, and we're not guessing at this, we're not interpreting it, we have his exact words. He has given speeches, he has given interviews, he has done radio, and he, as you said, was running Breitbart News, which created a platform for his worldview, which is that we are running into the clash of civilizations, Christianity versus Islam. That is his belief. Not that we're just dealing with a few terrorists now, but he believes we are on the way to a world war of Christianity versus Islam. That is his view. And to deal with his worldview, he has been looking to put somebody in a position of power that can carry his message and his philosophy. And so he looked, and I don't totally mean it as a derogatory term, although it comes out as one, he was looking for an empty vessel. By what I mean by that is someone that he thinks could be elected but doesn't have any political philosophy, so he can feed the political philosophy and be the power behind the throne to get done what he wants. Because Bannon knows, based on his personality, and he's acerbic and things like that, that he could never get elected in a popular election like that. So he needs to find a candidate to push his idea. But it has to be someone who doesn't have their own political views yet. He first, interestingly enough, he tied on to Sarah Palin. And when, in fact, he even did a documentary about her. He was very complimentary about her because he thought, aha, here is someone who is charismatic. Because remember, let's not forget, the first couple of weeks after she was nominated, she was a rock star. And I remember as Democrats, we were saying, oh, no, man, is this now what finally, what beats us in an election we should win? So she was a rock star. And so he ties on her. He does a documentary on her. But then, of course, she self-destructed. So he had to look elsewhere. He had a relationship with Trump because of all the tabloid newspaper that he was running, and Trump was big in the tabloids in New York. So they kind of had an association, and he figures Trump may be the one. So he was one of the first ones to catch on to Trump when they had 17 Republicans running in the primaries. So look at what he has done. First, he gets attached to that campaign. Then he works himself to become the manager of the campaign, the chairman of the campaign. Then when Trump gets elected, he works it out that he's going to be the chief advisor to the president. And that wasn't enough, because remember his worldview, getting ready for the clash of civilizations. He's got to get himself on the National Security Council. First time ever a political advisor gets on the National Security Council. So he gets himself appointed to that, a permanent member, and gets the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the head of Central Intelligence dismissed from it. Oh my gosh, he's moving into a position of power. Now, 2 steps. In order to get ready for this clash of civilizations, 2 things he has to take care of. The first is we have to get Russia on our side. Why? Because Russia is the only superpower left in the world that could stop his plans. For the past 50 to 70 years, anything America has tried in the Middle East, which is the base of where Islam is, anything America has done in the Middle East, Russia, or the Soviet Union back then, is always on the other side, always creating, they go on whatever side we're on, they take the other side. And so if he wants to have a free run at Islam, he can't have Russia in the way, particularly in the Middle East. So he wants to be friendly with Russia. That is what is going on, not trying to save Trump's hotels. Bannon could give a crap about his hotels. Bannon wants a good relationship with Russia. And Trump's never spent 10 seconds of his life thinking about what the impact is of a relationship with Russia. It's Bannon. The second thing Bannon has to do, now why would Russia go along with this? Well, Russia wants Bannon to be successful. Russia wants America to become nationalist. Russia wants America to be isolationist. Because if we become isolationist, as Russia wants, or as Bannon wants, and withdraw support from NATO, withdraw support from our alliances, what does that mean? If America stops supporting NATO, which you keep hearing about, and backing off from our alliances in Asia and Europe, then Russia can expand its influence as well as its territory. So it's perfect for Putin to have America become isolationist and nationalist. That is what the first step of what Bannon is now doing. Step number 2, he's moving towards ethnic purity in America. When I say ethnic purity, he sees America as basically Christian and white. And the reason for that is he can't have he's against a multicultural society, because how do you fight Islam if we're multicultural? It's got to be, so he uses, now, this is what my podcast was about 2 weeks ago, what I thought was going on, and I talked a little more about it, but I'll cut it short from there. Now what the issue is he's got Russia on our side. He's moving towards the ethnic purity of America. I thought maybe I went a little too far with that, and I started to say, I remember going home and telling Mickey, geez, I had this theory, and, it could blow up in my face. This could be really stupid. And lo and behold, the next day or 2 days later, he appears before CPAC, the conservative PAC in America, and he gives a speech, and my God, it was almost as if he was reading off the damn thing. And the words he used, which is really scary, he used words like, we have to be a nation with a culture. We have to have our own culture. Now, what do you think he means when he says our own culture? Those are code words. Psst, it's got to be white. It's got to be Christian. That's America. And that's his code word for this culture. He doesn't want a multicultural society. And worse, he says, we must take our country back. Who's we and from whom? I mean, really, who's we? We must take our country back? And from whom are we taking it back? There's only one possible interpretation of what that means. Who's he kicking out? What do you mean we? Because otherwise we means all of us. Mexican Americans, Muslims, Jews, Catholics, Polish people, Irish people, Asians, Africans that are in America. No, he's not talking that. Our culture? We must take our country back? What does that mean? And then he says, we must, that is our reason for being, to defend our culture. And I am telling you that is the most threatening thing to the idea of the United States of America. Now, this may be a little bit weird or ironic to have me quoting Jesus, but I want to do that. I'm a loyal Jew, but I want to quote Jesus, because, boy, is this on point. And Jesus' words, and I wrote it down so I get it right. I mean, I do read the Bible, but I'm not an expert on it. But Jesus said, "For what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul?" Well, and Bannon is a practicing Catholic, as I understand it. Well, wait a second, Steve Bannon. Why don't you listen to the words of Jesus? He's talking about gaining the whole world. In this clash of civilizations, we will defeat Islam. That's his view. To gain the whole world, he is willing to forfeit our soul. Because the soul of America is we are a multicultural society. That is the idea of America. It's what I've said on many occasions. It's the only thing which distinguishes us from every other country in the world. Every other country in the world started out as a tribe, an ethnic group, a particular race, and then got more territory and moved into becoming an empire or whatever. Only America started out first as an idea. And the idea was it wouldn't matter what your religion is. It wouldn't matter where your parents were from. It wouldn't matter what ethnicity you have. The Statue of Liberty is our symbol, not a wall. That's the idea of America. That is our soul. If we could wear a pendant around our neck as Americans, it would be a little statue of the Statue of Liberty. That's America. We are going to give up, on his theory, give up our soul, rip the statue off our necks, and instead we'll win the world. But what are we then? What have we won? Steve Bannon does, I don't care how smart he is, he's a lot smarter than me. But good Lord, he has no understanding of what the United States of America really is. And therefore, I am announcing today. No!
All right, we're calling forward Krystal Peterson and the Queen City Band, and they're backed by popular demand from a podcast last week. And as they're setting up
they're wearing the same outfit.
I can smell.
Don't you guys ever change?
There are 7 members of the band, and if you're hearing this, because we're on Facebook Live and some people watch us live, and then it's archived on our Jerry Springer Podcast Facebook page. But we're largely heard, on cell phones and computers, and so you can't see this, but there are 7 members, and they're loud and proud and very expert. And Krystal Peterson is a jazz singer, I guess
And
it's
her voice
safe to say.
is pretty
Jazz
amazing.
blues.
I like
Phenomenal.
that. That's good. Thank you.
And her band does that too. And Krystal's first song is going to be Head High, Feet Low.
That's right.
You ready to go?
Ready to play.
A little bit of feedback.
That was just a badass intro.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it might have been an instrument.
And I wonder who you are in final days. And I wonder what you're building in your brain. Sometimes it hurts to think. Sometimes it hurts to dream. And do you really think about the magicians? And lesson from the magicians. and wait, wait. Keep your head up high and your feet way down below you. Keep your head up high, high. Keep your head up high and your feet way down below you. Keep your head up high, high. And do you really think about the fruition and what opening your heart could really mean? Sometimes it hurts to think. Sometimes it hurts to dream. Do you really think that you will find your way when you're working 9 to 5 most every day? Don't you take a lesson from your heart, refrain and wait, wait. Keep your head up high and your feet way down below you. Keep your head up high, high. Keep your head up high and your feet way down below you. Keep your head up high, high. Is this love that resides within? It is time for the work to begin. It is the power that lives inside. It's been there all the time, all this time. Keep your head up high and your feet way down below you. Keep your head up high, high. Thanks.
Krystal Peterson and the Queen City Band, boy, they are really good. And you have an album out called Spell,
Yes.
correct? And people can hear your music at krystalpeterson.com. I'll spell that, Krystalpeterson, pardon me.
The song that you
.com.
sang tonight on that CD, on the newest CD?
This song is not. This is new.
Ooh. So we can check it out on the website?
Yes. They'll just have to keep coming back
I
to
love it.
your podcast to hear it.
There you go.
Love it, love it. We could be friends, Krystal.
I'm telling you, man. I love it.
Did you do some work with Walt Disney World, by the way?
I did, yeah. When I was 17, I signed a record contract right out of high school, and
Out of what high school?
I'm from Anderson, Indiana originally.
Okay.
I'm a Hoosier originally. So I graduated from Anderson High School there in Anderson, and moved out to Los Angeles, signed a record contract, and started touring with the Backstreet Boys, which were a really huge deal at the
If
time.
you've ever heard of that little group.
I opened up for them. For almost an entire year on their international tour. They took me under their wing, and I ended up. They ended up actually putting out my record for me with the help of Interscope Geffen, and I signed with William Morris and got a really good agent
Jerry's
and
agency.
starting doing it. It's the best agency in the
I
world.
didn't get a singing contract.
Really? Why not?
There is a contract out on me.
What a shame. So yeah, I had a lot of experience back then, and then I started to feel like I was not able to really put my best foot forward and grow into the person and the artist I wanted to be. And in an effort to get out of that situation, I left
and went back to Indiana for a while and restarted my whole, pretty much everything.
Wow.
Which I'm sure we've all been there before. But.
Oh yeah, most of us have left the Backstreet Boys in situations like that and go back to. Sure, Krystal, that sounds totally normal. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thanks.
And your next song is called.
This song's called "Leave This Girl Alone."
All right. Krystal
How
Peterson.
apropos. We just talked about me leaving Hollywood. So.
Boy, if I heard that.
It's actually Jerry's memoir.
I keep hearing it from parents.
No, he's joking, of course. It's a joke.
What am I saying?
Why do you talk? You do so good.
Queen City Band.
Hey, did you all hear about the bakery that burned down the street?
No.
No.
What?
Yeah, the guy's business is toast.
Oh my God.
I love this.
Good. That's good, isn't
I
it?
love this house.
There it is.
How would you like to open for us in the elevator?
Hey, that would be cool.
Yeah.
The Queen City Band in an elevator. You got to make some room for us.
All right.
You know?
I don't think
Those doors open and like, boom.
We're good together. Why not?
Yeah.
It'd be great, but there'd be no room for anyone to come on the elevator.
That's right.
Room for him.
Yeah.
You make room. Do it on the freight elevator.
Right.
Krystal Peterson and the Queen City Band.
Oh, Lord, won't you listen to me? I'm not the girl you want me to be. This is why I shake to my knees. 'Cause you know you don't realize you're hurting me. Yeah. So you can leave this girl alone. Oh, you can leave this girl alone. And you and I need you to be. You're just a man who don't realize you're hurting me. So you can leave this girl alone. I say you can leave this girl alone. Oh, take my hand. Come along with me. And listen well to the song my heart wants to plead. 'Cause you're not who I need you to be. You're just
Krystal Peterson and the Queen City Band. Can you
Just
take us
purchased
out
their
on?
album on iTunes. You can do that as well.
There you go.
So get it.
We're not going to leave you alone. We're going to have you back here.
Yay!
I loved it. Take us out on Down by the Riverside. Let Jerry Springer join in.
All right.
Here we go. Krystal Peterson and Queen City Band.
Oh, listen.
I like when people sing. It's just a. Even you.